you imagine living in a world surrounded by walls?
Or how about having a life controlled by a greater and more powerful source?
Life was exactly like this during the 1930s and 40s, and during the 1930s and 40s was the Holocaust.
Not only did so many innocent people perish during this time, but also innocent children. Children who had their childhood stolen from them, and children who had no purpose living in these circumstances.
Now, this didn't happen to all of them. Some of them were fortunate enough to be rescued. Whether it was before deportation or after, they were spared their lives.
In this short presentation, we will journey back in time to this unforgettable moment in history.
And we shall see the world through one child's eyes as she journeys into a concentration camp and back in
The True Story of Bettine Le Beau.
My parents met in Antwerp, Belgium. She worked in the salon, and he was just a love-struck porter, admiring her from afar. It took a while, but eventually he worked up the nerve to propose, and at first when he did, she said no. But then he told her to drop this small diamond ring that he had purchased, just for her, down into the rain gutter. And of course, she couldn't refuse after that. They lived a happy life together. In 1928, my older brother Harry came along, and in 1932, I made my first appearance in the world. Growing up, we were all just a big, happy family. That is, until the day Germany invaded Belgium. It was May 10th, 1940 to be exact, and the life that we built up around us came crumbling down.
Bettine?
Yes, Mother?
Bettine, we must flee the city immediately. I've just received news that after 18 days since the invasion, Belgium has surrendered to Germany. I know, and with your father in London,
Mother?
I feel we must leave. We have friends in Paris. If we can reach there, they'll try to get us visas from the British Council. Then, we'll be able to meet your father in London.
When are we going?
Now, we must be on our way.
And with that, my resourceful mother hailed us a taxi cab. She convinced the driver to take us all the way to Paris, that is, if she paid in gold coins, to which she agreed. Along our drive, I looked out the window and noticed the many people who, like us, were fleeing from beloved Belgium. They carried with them huge suitcases, overly stuffed with belongings from home. But soon, we arrived in Paris, and each day that we stayed with our friends, we walked them to the British consul, hoping to finally obtain our visas. However, each day, we were turned away and told to come back the next. Too soon, our stay stretched from days into weeks. Mother?
Come, Bettine, I've spotted a lovely little cafe downtown.
Mother?
Yes, Bettine?
When are we going to see Father again?
All in good time, Betty. Don't worry, we will see him soon. Now come along, we must pick up some flowers for the florist for our guest.
Our stay in Paris was okay. We all tried to live a life as normal as possible. It wasn't home, but soon we began to make friends. All of them were in the same boat, after all, like us. Many of them had fled their countries as well. But soon, we were going to be leaving. The Lord of Ada would be our new place to stay, and it would have been an interesting place to reside, except for the fact that we were being constantly watched and monitored, and surrounded by a barbed wire fencing. Hurry, Harry, hurry! I'm trying, I can't quite get under. The guard, he's looking this way, quick! There, I'm under. Good, run to the village, Harry, run as fast as you can, get us lots of food, and don't be seen. Not only did so many boys risk their lives to get food for the rest of us, it was in this place that I first saw how the Holocaust affected people emotionally. At night, it was the men you would see in pieces and crying, and during the day, they were the ones who had the nervous breakdowns. It was absolutely terrifying to watch. The females were the strong ones this time, and the males the weak. But then, we were told we were leaving to a place unknown to us, where we just hoped that the conditions would be better.
After the French defeat, camps were immediately filled with Jews and other individuals. That meant Bettine and her family would be deported to Camp de Gurs in France. From August to March, 3,907 Jewish prisoners were being put into Gurs. Now Bettine and her family will have to think of this terrible place as their temporary home. Now, everyone, separate yourselves into 3 groups. Men, women, and children. Come on, Jews, faster, faster!
Please, sir, I don't want to leave my mother.
You'll be able to talk through the defense. Now come on, we must put you in your places! Now Bettine must live with 30 other Jewish children in the camp. Their food and water were short, and the Malik pushed them around every day, and people died because of disease, lack of warmth, and proper food. Every day, the children were given a few loaves of bread to ration out between all of them. One girl split them into 30 equal parts. Everyone drew straws to decide who would go first. Okay, Bettine, you're next.
You want that piece of bread at the bottom? That one looks pretty big.
No, wait.
Oh.
No, wait. That one.
No, not that one. This one.
The beauty was that even if you were last, you'd get all the crumbs. They treasured every nibble.
At lunchtime, we were even served pumpkin soup. If the server liked you, you get the warm, creamy part. But if not, you just get the cold, watery part. One day, though, a child said,
I found where they keep the leftover pumpkins.
You have?
Yes, but we must stand and guard them, for we cannot let anyone throw them away. And that's what they did. They also played games up until the winter came, until more children became ill.
It is so bitterly cold. Do you remember when we all used to play games and it was warm out? My favorite was the one with the pebble, and
we're never going to see our families again. A young undercover woman who worked for the OSE smuggled many children out of camps. She was asking around to the mothers if they wanted her to smuggle their children out of the camps. Some mothers said no because they wanted to be with their children, but Bettine's mother wanted them to be safe and away from the camp. You are going to get out of here, and I will catch up with you. But I promise this is only temporary. Harry will look after you. I love you both so much. Stay safe, and don't argue with people who are more powerful than you.
We were smuggled out into the black of night. Harry and I traveled with 8 other children from the camp, and we stopped in Lamont just to spend the night before going to the OSE home the next day. Oh, it felt like such a long time since I slept in a real bed. Oh, the crisp, clean sheets felt like a cloud from heaven.
The next day, Bettine and Harry were taken to Chateau de Mazier, a home dedicated to housing children from concentration camps. When Bettine arrived, she had a full head of lice. Lunchtime, everyone!
Oh, let's see. Which piece of bread is the biggest? Not that one. Not that one. Oh, on the bottom.
Oh! Never do that again! And then the Queen of England said to the butler, Bettine, Bettine, you are not listening. Repeat what I just read.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
Oh, get out of here! Get out of here immediately! Out of my class! Out! Bettine's lice had not gone away, so she was taken to the doctor. Hello, Bettine. Please sit. Now, since we can't get rid of this lice, it looks like we're going to have to cut it all off.
Cut what off?
Your hair, of course.
Really?
Yes, but it won't be that bad. I promise. There we are. Would you like to see it? You can go now. Aren't you going to say thank you?
I can only say thank you when I'm happy.
Oh, what a rude little girl! Get out of here immediately! Out!
I have no friends. Everyone stays far away from me. Even in the camp, I never felt this lonely.
As Bettine stayed longer, she made a new friend, Fanny. The two did everything together. One summer day, they volunteered to do a special job in the cellar for Boris, the head at Massinger. The job was to sort the potatoes into ones that had shoots and into the ones that didn't.
Now, where do you think this potato should go?
In the shoot pile.
Of course. Hey, what's that over there?
Oh my! It's a bottle of wine.
That it is.
Well, should we taste it?
I don't see why not.
Okay, you first.
Here goes.
How is it?
Different than what I Now you. Yeah, it is. Okay, now we have to close it and make sure that nobody knows we took these. Do you think they could tell by our breath? I don't know. Let me smell. Yes, just a little bit. How about me? Indeed, I can smell it. What are we going to do? Oh, look, there's a heap of turnips over there. Those will kill the smell for sure. Yes, turnips will do it. Needless to say, after eating plenty of turnips, the bell rang. We ran out into the fresh air and vomited. And then, of all people, Boris walked by and said,
Did you two drink the wine?
No.
Then what's all this red stuff on the ground?
Well, you see, we found some beetroots. Beetroots, yes, in with the potatoes. And
There are no beetroots in the cellar.
And later that night,
I see we have two drunkards in our midst. They will receive no dessert for the next month.
and that is what happened. After that, I swore to myself I would never drink a single drop of alcohol again. In January of 1942, all the fun that came with living at Massachusetts came to an end. Hitler and the Nazis had decided to meet at Wadsworth to discuss the future plans for the extermination of the Jews, and afterwards, they announced that they'd be getting to the final solution. This included camps. I liked the one I'd been in, only this time around, worse. They were going to use gas chambers to kill them on a much larger scale than before. Upon hearing this, Massachusetts was closed, and the children dispersed. Harry and I, along with all the other children from the OSC home, were taken to a small, uncharted location in the French Alps. The plan here was to slowly smuggle the children across the border into Switzerland, and slowly the children were taken across safely. However, Harry and I still remained. Harry?
Yes, Bettine?
You think we'll ever be taken across?
I assume so, yes, but
what?
don't worry, Betty. We'll be all right.
But then, they came for us, and they told us to be ready in a week to go to Switzerland. We were elated. Freedom at last! But then, the week before, in the smuggling before ours, the Christian volunteer worker was shot. And that was it. Our chances of getting to Switzerland were over. Now where to?
Miss Bettine, would you please take a seat? I know this may be difficult for you to understand, but you are not Betty Frolic, you are Betty Freeter. Do you understand? If asked, you say your father is dead and your mother is a prisoner of war. Understood? One more thing. Never say that you are Jewish. Never. Even if people are very, very nice to you. Never. Good? Good. Here is your identity card, and may God watch over you.
They also told me that I'd be living in a new place, but not as a Jew, as Betty Freeter. As for Harry, he became a shepherd in the mountains, away from civilization. Even though the night we departed was Christmas Eve, the social worker we were traveling with convinced a truck driver to drop off all the children at their assigned locations. A girl, Henriette, and I were going to be staying at a farm with two people we would come to call Tati Roth and Tonton Abel. And as soon as we were ushered into their warm and welcoming home, we knew we were safe. That night, Henriette and I spoke in our room for the first time. Hi.
Hi. I'm Henriette.
I'm Bettine. I know we just met, but I was thinking maybe we should
Stick together?
yeah.
We'll keep each other safe.
And that is what we did. During our stay at the farm, we were both friends and sisters, and we thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. We even attended a school. Well, the teacher, Madame Bernard, hadn't really had much experience teaching, and so she often had us just shell beans or do other chores for her instead of lessons. It was fun, though, all the same. And best of all, Henriette and I made a new friend. Her name was Huguette Rayner, and we all loved to play together. The first time that we visited Huguette's house, she pretended she was the lobster hostess, and we were the guests. afternoon. Oh, I'm doing quite well, Miss Hughes. Might I say, you have a lovely place here. Oh, I thank you, Miss Bettine. Please, take a seat. Your tea will be out shortly. Oh, my, you are so kind, Miss Hughes. Thank you. Oh, you're very welcome, Miss Bettine. You know, this actually reminds me of a quite funny time when... Oh, what fun we had. But of course, all good things have to come to an end sometime, and that our stay at the farm came to was joyful and embarrassing.
Bettine?
Harry! Oh, I haven't seen you in so long. How are you?
Fine. I've come to take you away. Mother is pining for you. We have to go.
But Tati might be unable.
There's no time.
But no buts. I must say goodbye. They've been so kind to me.
No, Bettine. Mother is waiting for you. Come along.
And with that, he took me away. I was humiliated. He didn't even say a single thank you. But I didn't want to bicker with him, so I kept quiet. Harry took me by train to St. Sulpice, where our mother was living at the time in a small two-room flat. Mother? Bettine? How are you? Are you all right? What happened?
Well, let's not talk about me right now. In fact, let's not talk about it at all. Let's just focus on the time that we have together.
Unfortunately, France wasn't yet liberated at the time, so for the time being, we had to remain in St. Sulpice. I attended a school, and Harry traveled from village to village, town to town, buying up goods from vendors and selling them in the larger cities. We all had the hope that one day we'd see our father again. And then that day came. One day, Harry was in Paris, selling his goods, and he was in the restroom when he heard a familiar voice. That voice, it was our father. It was a miracle. He came to stay with us for a few days that were wonderful, but sadly, when he had to leave, we couldn't go with him. He told us, though, that he tried very hard to get us British visas so we could come visit him in London. And he did. Harry and I arrived in London in September of 1945, and my mother came a few months later. Oh, after all those hard, difficult months of separation, we were now together, and I feel as though I'm the luckiest girl in the world.
Even though Bettine was reunited with her family after all those years of being apart, things still didn't go back to being the same.
While in London, Bettine's father had found another woman, as he wasn't sure his wife and children would make it out alive.
He loved this woman so much that he fathered a daughter to her, much to the surprise of Bettine and her mother.
Her parents tried to make it work, but found they couldn't. They eventually resolved to being separated, but not divorced.
In later years, Bettine realized how proud she was of them for trying. After all they wanted was the best for their families.
As Bettine grew up, she went to college and married a man named Peter, and later became a successful model and actress.
She even wrote this book, Hide and Seek, which is based off her own true experiences during this time.
She's forever grateful to the OSC for saving her life, especially to the young woman who rescued her from the concentration camp.
She wishes for everyone to be informed about the Holocaust and the impact that it had on the Jewish culture.
And so, we leave you with this phrase. In the Jewish culture, we die twice.
When we physically die,
and when we are forgotten.
May the Holocaust never be forgotten. Thank you.